Hello team, here's another Line War cast for you. Check out this map. Look at this wonderful little map. City in the top right, city right here on the left. So like left side of the map seems a little bit stacked. Our two players are Someone Said That My Nickname Sucks in red. We'll refer to them as nickname. And BDCarrillo, who is in blue. This is a game from the patch. So like the beta server right now, the patch is not live on ladder. Uh, this is like we've seen one game so far. It's the other video on this channel. I explain like the different things that are tentatively in the patch, but unfortunately you'll just have to go to the Discord and we'll talk about some of the changes. But if you care about specifics, the other video is probably the better one to watch right away. We'll get down to it. 3 tank opener from Someone Said That My Nickname Sucks. This is probably going to even be 6 tanks or something. And you might be wondering why there's a lot of barracks going down this early in this sort of spot. And the biggest thing to this patch is that infantry move much quicker now. This is their base movement rate. As we can see, they're just like ripping around, or rather, they're kind of in the running animation. It's 0.3 quicker relative. I mean, I just said 0.3 quicker. It's like they used to move 3.7 whatevers, now they move 4.0 whatevers. Of course, we don't know if that's exactly what's going to end, like if the patch is going to be shipped like this, but this is one of the biggest things about the differences. So 4 barracks from BDCarrillo. I love this. This is a great spot to go to just mass expand with barracks, and 2 factories making SAMs. We've heard that that's a general the thing is like build as many barracks as you can and then also have SAMs to defend. I am oversimplifying it, and this is of course in the same ways that any balance takes a while for a meta to be established. These players have only been playing, around with this for a few weeks or something, maybe not even that. So 6 tanks from Someone Said That My Nickname Sucks. We're gonna see that whatever gas nickname decides to go for, money wise, they don't have enough, but they will have to get a gas pretty soon here to sustain this. 332 income for nickname and 320 for Carrillo or BD. I'm not actually sure what BD prefers to be called, but maybe we'll keep saying BD Carrillo. It's too cool of a name. No other production yet for either player. And you can kind of see big picture what the general ideas are with these lines. Nicknames, same thing. Nickname's just gonna go for this tank push, which I'm really interested to see what nickname does with this, because one of the things that like infantry moving quicker, that's very good against tank rushes, because then you can position your infantry to body block a little bit better, get back to your production quicker, everything. So I'm really interested and happy to see that nickname's trying this out. Here's the first gas for nickname, because I don't think nickname actually knows yet. Like, yeah, so nickname's only just finding out, because surely nickname would have built this gas. Was it, if it was known that Curlo was right here. So 6 tank, this definitely, the gas timing is going to be kind of important. And nickname must know, like, there's 2 more tanks and a SAM coming out, which gives you an 8, even 8 tanks. And if you could keep 8 tanks alive and just kind of micro these things around, you can get so much value out of tanks. Right now it's tough because there's no gas, but this gas timing was almost perfect. Because, the first reserve of 25 gas that you get, the second that's kind of out, you want your gas to be kicking in. So this really is only seconds off, because we can see here now nickname's energy is back up. If you're wondering what that big loud beep was, that's of course it's the gas being out for nickname. And when that happens, the tanks kind of, I mean, you saw them with the little black plumes of smoke. They take more damage from enemies and they can't move. So a lot of infantry here, 2 artillery pieces. BDCarrillo is just kind of going for a few of them. I'm not sure if there's still SAMs being made. There might, but really it's all just infantry at this point. And these tanks that I wonder how they're going to be able to do. Like, there's no airport yet for either player, which is generally a deviation you see from what players, what it would be before this theoretical patch, or rather like whatever form the patch comes in. The patch will show up. It just depends, small tweaks, whatever, if there are any. I have no idea. I'm just casting this new patch as is. This is a great trade for BDCarrillo up in the top, although these tanks could probably collapse on this to help out. Generally, you don't want to lose like the numbers battle with the infantry, but this is kind of a more pressing situation for Nickname. Let's check the income. Nickname's at 548, and Carrillo's at 488, and that's really, I feel, one of the strengths of like very good players. They just find ways to get ahead on the econ game, and then keep that. So this is a new mechanic. I'm kind of looking at this because there are entrenching differences in the patch. So entrenched units have 20% extra armor against the grenade from the artillery. So it kind of allows like these units to survive a little bit longer, and they get more range while being entrenched. They just get 0.2 more range. So what it means is that there's other people, like other infantry down the line, that are able to actually help out, and you get better trades as a defender, because in the way that it currently is, you can, like, only one defender really shoots at the unit in front of it. So I think this defensive line did much better than usual. These tanks are having a lot of trouble. Like, you can see just how nice it is that these infantry are able to move this quick to really get in front of the tanks. Second gas on the way for Nickname. Nickname is also starting to go for some eco, because I feel at this point Nickname knows that they're going to be able to hold this side. I'm not sure what's happened here, but this is interesting because it is actually something that's the patch directly addresses. This artillery won't do nearly as much damage. Tanks are in a weird spot because they're about to get into a mountain and they don't move that quick through the mountains. We can quickly check like what's going on in the rest of the map. No more like production development from either player. Both just kind of sitting here macroing up and then taking part in this big fight, which I appreciate. So again, one of the things on the patch is that this artillery is doing less damage to the infantry that is in the trenches here or whatever behind the sandbags. We're not really seeing any hellfire missiles or whatever, the things that strikers and helicopters shoot. Both of those have been nerfed by 20% against all riflemen, which is both infantry and commandos. I wonder if is Nickname still building tanks? No. Yeah, one tank. And then the rest are SAMs. Because in a way, bombers indirectly got a buff in this patch to deal with infantry because of that 20% reduction in strikers and interceptors. Or, pardon me, strikers and helicopters do against infantry. So this is really one of the new interactions on the defensive side of the game, like with entrenched units. On the top of the screen, we can see that the tanks are slowly making progress through these mountains. They don't move very quick through it. But once Nickname sees the buildings, Nickname might actually be able to, you know, get rid of this one barracks, which would be huge. I don't know what this would have looked like pre-patch, but I'm hoping that if someone's watching and they're like, oh, I know exactly what this looked like, you know, hopefully this explains some of the differences that are going on. Nickname's going for economy in the back. This makes a lot of sense. I think Nickname is probably ahead in this huge defense line. I almost feel like Carrillo and Nickname did this just to try this part of the game out with like a defensive line and then artillery going at it. It's broken now, but I can imagine there would be a lot more survivability for this defensive line with the changes. Income 865 for Nickname and 656 for Carrillo. 2 more barracks at the top for Nickname. I mean, this really would be the name of the game because, you know, you want to just keep expanding, and infantry are the best by cost efficiency, the best unit to cap. First airport on the way for Nickname. Not sure if Carrillo has one. 3rd factory and 2 more racks for Carrillo. Love those 2 back racks because there's so much land here. Like, what Carrillo still has a bunch that can be capped. So I love these racks up the top because they can also help deal with this like pass that these tanks keep going through. Another barracks. And that would, I mean, that you would expect that to be used a lot when the infantry can go this much quicker, because infantry being the most cost efficient, pardon me, capping unit, if they just go quicker, they're just going to cap quicker, right? So if you want more of them so they can cap quicker, and then of course you snowball your economy, and yeah, ultimately as an economic RTS, that's huge. I wonder if how Nickname's going to be able to deal with this. This would feel quite I don't know if this would feel quite scary pre-patch, but this I'm certainly interested to see how this artillery does. Artillery does less damage to land units by 11%. So just the amount of damage they're doing to these SAMs, the tanks, the infantry, all of it is reduced by 11% here, from 3.6 to 3.2. And with the infantry able to get, like, move quicker, what it also means is they're able to get on top of their artillery quicker, right? So I don't know if it's going to come into play here just because there's so much body blocking going on. But what, 5 artillery to take on 3 tanks, what's about to be 6 tanks in total, and 6 SAMs, 3 infantry or something? And I don't know what information we're getting, but Nickname seems pretty confident this is going to work out for them, which it very clearly is, because here comes Nickname's second airport. I wonder if Carrillo's gone for an airport. I guess there's no real reason to, although, like, this gas is super exposed, and I think Carrillo could see it. We can take a look at what Carrillo's got on the vision. Yeah, so this gas is in sight. I appreciate that Carrillo's going for more artillery, though, because to see how this interacts in the patch, right? So Krillo's got all the way to the left, but if we look at the income, because of all this eco that Nickname's propped up, 776 for Krillo, which really isn't that bad, but 1,000 for Nickname at this point. And another barracks from Nickname. Yeah, there's 3 more barracks here for Carrillo. I mean, I love it. I think that, I don't know. I think infantry just look cool, but I mean, who knows if it's... I have no comment on balance. I'm just, like, legit watching this. The same way anyone else is. 4 tanks, I mean, these are going to do decent. There's not really much that, like, the tanks aren't affected by the patch themselves. But, you know, the interaction that infantry have with them. Although, I don't know. I mean, Nickname was still able to make good progress on the top. Let's go income again. 848 for Carrillo and over 1100 now for Nickname. So this certainly is slowly crumbling. Carrillo would need to go for a lot of economy here. Or something, because, well, I mean, even then, it's going to be tough. You can't come back from this position, I feel like. This is very difficult. Especially because Nickname has the whole north of the map pretty much locked down. Like, this should really be part of what Carrillo needs to get, this top part, and Nickname's already wedged themselves into, like, this mountain range, right? Going for strikers. I think strikers are the best thing you could build here still. I mean, strikers are still good, right? They're not going to be as good at cleaning up like commandos or random infantry, but they're still fantastic to hit buildings. And one thing that you might notice is that as a byproduct of all this barracks work is that there's actually less SAMs on the field. Really. Even from the factory player from BDCarrillo here, there's actually not that many SAMs. So the strikers, you know, they can, as long as they don't run into SAMs, they're going to always get value. Really, SAMs are interceptors. Yeah, here we go. Carrillo's gonna start ecoing. That's like the best move. I don't know if Carrillo knows that Nickname's up in this mountain range yet. No, not quite, unfortunately. But this is good capping. This is great capping from Carrillo. Even this push, really. I mean, unfortunately, there's a numbers disadvantage on that side. I think over time, Carrillo's gonna be able to clear this up. Just because these infantry are going to be able to body block so much. This is really good, actually, that Carrillo's making moves on the bottom with this barracks. Right? Because, like, look, these infantry, I mean, they can really they're more mobile at this point. Just with this speed boost. It sort of feels like Carrillo's making good, like, progress on this push, but the economy is just so much, like, so out of control at this point. I really don't think that Carrillo can even come back. 2 barracks in the forest for Nickname. which are wonderful. I mean, to help out with the bottom there, the bottom of the map. Krillo's about to get 1,000 economy. And Nickname is at almost 1,300. Nickname could soon start to like eco really the back. I mean, this top right of the map, Nickname still doesn't have full control of. So here we go. Now we got some strikers in action. So let's see how this cleans up. I don't know if anyone knew exactly how many hits strikers took to kill things like infantry to begin with, but they are doing 20% less damage up there. And Carrillo's still going for it, so I don't know. Carrillo might just be pushing here, and I love it, because this push is kind of starting to work on the bottom. It's really just the economy. Because with an econ lead this big, Nickname just needs to, I mean, not like super throw some aspect or trade terribly at some point. Nickname's already getting a city, so that's enormous. Nicknames. Cities are worth 10 squares, 10 territories on the map. So income-wise, it is quite a lot. It just takes a lot of time to get set up. It's good sand blocking from Nickname with what's left. I think this is a very strong position for Nickname on the north. And this is ultimately what happens. Like, all of these units just, there's no way they can push because they'll just get sandwiched. And by the time all of this shows up to the base, we could hear Nickname put down a factory somewhere. I'd assume, I guess I should never assume. I don't know where that was. There's a factory somewhere. Here it is. Top left for Nickname. That's a very important detail in this game at this point, I'm sure. More factories. It's probably in the top left, and Nickname's just going to push from the top. Oh, maybe not. Here I go. It's trying to sound smart and totally wrong. Either way, Nickname's totally locked up this game. This is some infantry fighting artillery. I mean, artillery still does very well against infantry, of course. It's kind of what they're designed to do. I love the use of the tanks by Nickname. Especially on this map where tanks, I mean, this really isn't the starting position for tanks. Yeah, with two airports almost full of strikers, I mean, Nickname now just starts, you know, builds an airstrip and then just keeps pushing off the back of this, like, huge economy. Almost 1,418-minute game at this point. I mean, Carrillo's cranking themselves, right? Almost 1,100, but it's just not quite enough. So, GG. It was wonderful. That's some more patch action of, again, it's not live on ladder, but it is in the works. And, you know, join the Line War Discord if you'd like to see the exact patch notes, chat about it, see what's up, come say hi in general. You know, say what's up. It's a great game. Absolutely. Okay, folks, enjoy. Have a great night, evening, day, whatever it is. We'll see you around. Peace.